This is the 2024 Tesla Model 3 Performance. To the casual observer, this may look like any other Tesla Model 3 on the market. And there are a number of things in this Model 3 that got an update, and that's why it's significant. And some of those upgrades are: the headlights are much, much slimmer. And I tried them last night out on the open road, and they are pretty good at their matrix function. This is the performance model, so the lowest splitter, that's different as well. The 21-inch wheels are new. And there's this adorable little carbon fibre spoiler on the boot. But I've got to tell you, rear view out of this thing is pretty dreadful. Good thing we've got cameras all over the place. I love all of the improvements except for this badge, which just looks unbelievably naff. And it's repeated inside on the seats. And you'll notice the tail lights, they're also changed. Getting into Model 3 remains the same. And I've got mine synced to my phone. Getting in to the back is a little bit of an effort. This has the option of the black seats, and in the back another screen where you can mute and unmute music and do cool things like watch Netflix. And all you need is a Netflix account. You just sign in. All I did last night when I went to the supercharger was point my phone at the screen, sign in with the QR code, and in about 10.5 seconds I was watching stuff. It was pretty impressive. The headroom back here, despite the fact that my head is almost touching the glass, is not too bad. I mean, there's only that much space. But one thing I've known is in these cars, in all cars with glass roofs, including Teslas, the sun, for about that far down from the top, really feels hot. So the top of my head would be hot. There's other new fabrics, such as this nice soft feel fabric on the doors. The tops of the doors are all nice and soft, and this is one of the 19 speakers that has been apparently tuned, or at least assisted, by a quote-unquote Danish audio manufacturer. Wonder who that could be. Bang & Olufsen! The other thing is the mood lighting, which, as you can see, I've set to pink, and we'll see that going through the tunnels. And before we leave the back seat, knee room is tight. Though this seat is set for me, it's pretty tight. And with the seat down as low as it is, there's not much room underneath my feet. Added to this, I've got my phone set up as a key so that when my phone's on me, it will lock and unlock as I approach or walk away. Inside the front is probably where the most of the changes happen. Down below, you still have the same two pads that you had before to charge your phone. There's a couple of USBs, a 12-volt outlet, some cup holders, and a center armrest. This is one of the places where it's both good and bad because there are no stalks. There's also been an upgrade in the front, and Tesla says that up to 50% of this car is new. I don't know where they get 50% from, but that's the claim. There's a windscreen washer button, the talk button, and this is the camera button, which you press and brings up the cameras. And then over here we've got light, flash, and indicators. This is the one that will be the biggest bugbear to people that like stalks. So let me fasten my seatbelt first. Now that we've done that, you'll see that it's brought up a little graphic here saying tap to activate drive. So if I tap the brake, I'm now in drive. This is also the slider. Some of the things have stayed the same. There's a lot of options here, Spotify and so forth, and if you've got an account, you can log in and use those. That's the radio button. Watch what happens when I try and use voice control for the air conditioning now. Air conditioning, 20 degrees. It turns it down to 17.5. Now I've got this synced, so I'm just going to turn that up. Okay, let's have it on 20. The car controls are as per normal. That's the recording for the dash cams and so forth. In dynamics, you've got an insane setting. Chill and insane. Sport and standard for the ride and handling. And then the steering weight I've got set to light. And you'll notice here also is the beta shift out of park. I've also got the beta auto steering activated, but it's pretty useless. All right, let's get on the road. I've got this now set. I tried setting this with voice control and it was absolutely hopeless. This is a fairly poorly kept but beautifully sweeping bended country road. I don't think it's had any work done on it since the Whitlam administration. Get those windscreens. Bit of a wash. If you give the windscreen button just one press, it will give you a single swipe. Alright, here's a corner. Nice and slow because you can't see and it's blind. I've got the suspension, by the way, set to soft or standard, simply because I tried the new adjustable suspension on Sport and it was very firm. The ride is firm anyway and it just made it far too firm. Oh, this is just joyous. The best part of an electric motor, of course, is the fact that you have extraordinary torque. Cyclist up front on the crest of a hill. Oh, great. Slow down going past. There we go. And this has 340 kilowatts worth of power. This is a much better kept road, oddly with a lower speed limit. This green and leafy area, there's some beautiful, all the cameras are pointing the wrong way. There's a beautiful view over there, not so much over there. But as we go around the corner, you'll see that we are quite high up. We've gone with the wind mansions and so forth. I want to talk a little bit about charging. This car is capable of 250 kilowatt charging, but there are very few of the Generation 3 Tesla superchargers around the place. And unfortunately, that means that you are stuck at the slower 120 kilowatt charging. Even worse, the best I could get last night when I got a top up to 80% was about 23 kilowatts. It was going to take an hour to get from 60 to 80. I'm now going to turn on okay, my full steering is on. Just going to bring that up to 110. The screen's showing me my speed, the speed limit, and it's also showing what the cruise control is set at. You can see the blue lines are my lane markings. But just like the previous Teslas, whenever you change lanes, full steering turns off. The cruise control stays on, but the full steering turns off. This, of course, is one of the results of the removal of the stalks that used to be on a stalk. I find it difficult to use because it's just a little bit cumbersome. Same with the indicators. They work brilliantly while the steering wheel is horizontal. But once it's not horizontal, you've got to, in your brain, work out which is the correct arrow to press. The other new thing in the MY24 Model 3 is the ventilation of the seats. I've got this set to automatic. So depending on what the temperature is, I forgot to set to self-steering again. That's what I'm saying, I keep forgetting to do it. Yes, so I've got it set for automatic, which means the seat heating or cooling will come on in relation to the cabin temperature, the outside temperature, and the temperature set for air conditioning. I'm not sold on this being the driver's information panel because I have to look over there to see. Now, Tesla says that's because they're preparing for full self-driving. However, almost all other cars have a driver display. Not all, but almost all. The handling is absolutely fabulous. Fabulous. The technology is good. It's not brilliant. And you saw the voice control before. I haven't managed to get it to do anything. I tried voice inputting directions, I tried temperature, I've tried all sorts of stuff, but it just won't have any of it. I'm just going to wind this back now to 100. Oh, and I keep forgetting. I'm using the wrong knob, god damn it. Not the first time that's been said about me. At traffic lights, the Tesla will tell you when traffic in front has moved off, and you can see on the display here that the brake lights on the cars come off if there's not sun behind them. Otherwise it can't tell whether it's lit from the inside or from the outside. I think my biggest annoyance is the lack of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I tried to make a phone call before using the car system and it just wouldn't have it. So I had to have my phone sitting in the cradle where I can just use voice control for Siri. Alright, just going to put my phone up there. I didn't want to do that while I was on the road. Alright. So I went to go for indicators. So annoying. Alright. Just get it up onto the bitumen and 1001, 1002, 1003. You heard me mention earlier the motor has 340 kilowatts. The American one has 380 kilowatts and a 0 to 100 of 2.9 seconds. The only reason that Tesla could come up with was that this one is made in China and the American one is made in America. That's the other thing. All the Teslas that come to Australia are Chinese. You can see in the overhead console there's the lights, hazard flasher, and you can see the PRND. That's in case your screen fails. You still have a way to put the car into gear. And you can get that up by either holding one of the almost invisible letters or by pressing briefly both of the steering wheel buttons. The only problem is, of course, if you were to get the car into park or out of park or into drive and then drive, you haven't got a speedo, so you don't know how fast you're going. I love this Tesla a lot. I think there are a few little things that I'd change, but overall it's a great effort, and I think the new suspension system has made a world of difference. In any case, hit like, leave a comment, and just on the little round thing over there to subscribe.